Welcome to today's webinar. And today we are going to discuss about the utilizing automation and the scheduler. So I'm Sai Chandu Palkapati. I'm Client Relationship Associate at Author. And you can find my email over here, sai.palkapati@authoronline.co.uk. You can email me after the end of the webinar if you have any questions, or else during the webinar, you can use our both Q&A and chat to ask the questions, and I will answer them at the end of the webinar. And during the webinar, I have Nicoletta with me, who is my colleague, so that she can also answer all your questions in the chat. So make sure you put your questions in the chat if you have anything to ask during the webinar. And after the webinar, you can put them under Q&A. So both me and Nicoletta will answer all your questions. Thank you. So let us start now. So first, I'm going to discuss about automation, and then we will move on to the scheduler. So let me share today's agenda with you. Yeah, this is today's agenda, both automations and scheduler. Among automations, we are going to see what an automation is actually, and what are the pre-populated automations in Author, and how we can create our own automations. And in scheduler, we will see what a scheduler is, how to create a scheduled action, and how can we add multiple actions within one single schedule. And after the discussion of both the topics, and after I'm showing you how to do them as an example, then we can have the Q&A session at the end. And feel free to ask any questions in the middle as well on using the chat session, so that my other colleague Nicoletta can answer them. So let us move to the automations. So automation. So automation is something which you can use to carry out your day-to-day activities on behalf of yourself. Like, or you can use Author to carry out your day-to-day activities on your behalf. Like, you can make as many automations as possible so that the work can be done without your manual thing to do. So make use of the automations which are already available in the Author, and you can also create your own automations as well. For you to remember, if there is an automation, there are two things to be remembered. So first one is the trigger, and the second one is action. So here, trigger means like the day-to-day scenarios which will occur, like something which you want to do is called a trigger, and what that trigger wants to do is called an action. For example, the trigger can be including a tenancy renewal. So if you want to include a tenancy renewal, that can be one of the example for trigger. And the action for that can be like email the tenant about the tenancy renewal. Or else one more example, like if there is a rent due for 3 days or 5 days, and you want to notify that your tenant via email. So in this case, the rent due will be your trigger, and notifying your tenant via email will be your action. So all your to-do things, all your day-to-day activities, what you want to do were considered as triggers, and what that trigger want to perform were considered as actions, like sending an email or sending an SMS, adding a task to that, or you can add a work order as well to that. So I will show you the example how it exactly works so that you can remember that. So as I told you earlier, we have pre-populated automations already in the Author system for you. So you can make use of all the pre-populated automations which were already present in the Author. There were around 200 triggers and actions created for you for the benefit of yourself on behalf of you by Author. So few of them were in the system already. Let me share you something with you. Yeah. If you're able to see my Author account screen, that would be great. And so this is the screen of Author account. And here, if you just click on your logo at the top left corner, here you can see automation thing. So just click on automation. So that opens your automation screen. Let us wait until it loads. Yeah. So this is your automation screen. And all these were the automation groups, like the name of your automations. So if you click on any of them, you can see the trigger. And if you click them again, you can see the action attached to that trigger. So here, all these plus icons, all these things which were earlier, these all were called as group names. So whether it might be applicants, certificates, documents, notices or rents or tenancies or financials, anything can be called an automation group. So inside the group, if you just click inside the group, here the flag symbol you can see, right? So this is called the trigger. So the next to the flag symbol is known as the trigger, and next to that it gives you an option to add an action to that trigger. So here applicant added is a trigger. There you can add an action to send an email or to send a message or something like that. So to recognize action, it will be next like with this symbol of time symbol. So next to the time symbol is the action what you have under this trigger. So remember that these plus and minus icons, the plus icon before that is a group name of the automation, applicant, certificates, comments, and everything like that. And next to the flag is the trigger. And with the time symbol next to it is the action. So you can always add as many triggers as you want and as many actions as you want. So you will always have an option to delete the action, to edit the action, and to see the logs. Same with the triggers. You can always delete the triggers. In the triggers case, like you can add your own trigger, as I said earlier. So you can delete the trigger which you have added, but you cannot delete the trigger which is already there in the system, which was added on behalf of yourself by author. So you cannot see the delete option next to this trigger, but you can see delete option here. That is because this is created by me for my account. This is created by author earlier. So this is the pre-populated trigger example, and this is the customized trigger example. So let me just show you an example how to use the pre-populated automations. So if we go to any of the group, like any of the group, and we try to do something over there, let us go to tenancies. So if we go to tenancy, we can see some of the triggers over here. So I can see like tenancy status set to prospective here. So I just want to add an action here next to tenancy status set to prospective. So I can just click add action next to the trigger. So it takes me to the add action screen. So here you can name your action anything as you want. So whenever the tenant status set to prospective, I want an email to be sent to the tenant, like a welcome email or something like that. So my action name can be email tenant, like a welcome email or something like that. So just I will write welcome email to tenant. So you can write whatever you want. You can give whatever name you want to the action, and this is active and will run. So here you have a couple of options to do. So it is asking you, how would you like this action to work? So what you want this action to do? You can just select here, apply a process. And if you just come down, here you have the event method, where if you click here, it gives you a couple of options to choose from. So what you want to do, what you want your action to do now. So if you want to send a message to your tenant, then you can click send a message. If you want to send just notification, that is an app notification, you can select this one. If you want to send a text SMS or text message, you can select send SMS. Or else similarly, if you want to add webhook, or you can want to edit field or invite occupants, or if you want to add a task or add work order within this, you can do that. So let me now show you one example, like how to send a message. Send message means it sends an email, at the same time notifies you via app. Send SMS is a text message. So don't confuse between these two. Send SMS is a text message. Send message is sending an email, at the same time notifying via app. So I want to send an email now. So I will just select send message, and here send to recipients. So I want to send the tenants the welcome email. So I will select the tenants from the recipients. So I will select the related tenants, so that it will send to all the related tenants. And here the subject can be welcome email or anything like as you wish. You can write anything, welcome email. And here you can enter the body of your email like hi, and you can always personalize this or customize this email. Just right click over here. You can see the variables. So if you right click with the first name, so all of the tenants receives this email with their own first name in the email. So hi, first name of them, and welcome to the new home or something like that. Welcome to new home. Or else if you want to include any other things, you can add as many things as you want here. Just thanks and regards or something like that. And you can mention your name, or you can use the variables as I told. If you just right click, you can use all of these, like to mention property address, to mention something like that, anything related to manager names or something. You can use all of them under your email body and make it as customized as possible. So if I just go on save this action, click save action so that it will be saved and it will sit under the trigger which we have added. So under the trigger like tenancy status set to prospective, here we have added action, right? So it will go and sit under here. So welcome email to the tenant. This is what I have added action to already available trigger. So if you just see here, you can edit this after adding. You can go there and it will show you the same screen. You can make changes to the name, or you can send a message. If you want to send SMS, you can change that here again. And if you want to send to other, like instead of tenants, if you want to send to some other person or specific tenants, you can choose that from here again. You can make any changes or any edits even after saving the action. And again, come here and click save action, and it will update with the changes you made. Similarly, next to the edit, you have logs, which will show you all the logs you have performed there. And next to that, it has the delete option. If you click on this, delete, and if you click on OK, it will delete that action completely. So it is no longer performed as an action, it will be deleted. Yeah. So let me go to my automations again. Automation. Sorry for the network issues. So here, tenancy status set to prospective, welcome email action is deleted. You can see that. So you can delete the action which you have added. So this is like making use of already had trigger, like already having triggers. You're just adding action to an already present trigger in the author. What if you want to add a custom trigger, like which is not present in the system, but you want to make use of that one? So you can always add the custom triggers. You can always add your own triggers, and you can set actions for that. So in order to do that, you need to create some triggers for these groups. So same in the automation group. If you go over here towards your right corner at the top, you can see add custom trigger. Just click on there. Now it takes you the screen to select the groups. As I told you earlier, there is 3 things to remember. First is automation group. Next is the trigger. Next is the action. So where you want this triggers or action to be added, like which group. So for example, I just want to send a reminder to a tenant when the rent is due in about 4 days or something like that. So here I want to send a reminder to the tenant for rent due in 4 days. So rent due is the amount, right? So rent due is related to amount, and it's a payment type of thing. So that will be definitely related to the financial. So in this way, you need to choose which group is suitable for your trigger. So rent due is the payment or the amount thing. It's suitable to the financial. So among these groups, I can select financial over here. You can also see other groups here. If it is related to the documents, you can select document if you are adding action to documents or something like that. And if it is related to tenancy, you can select tenancy, viewings, or work order, you can select work order. If it is a report thing, you can select report, and same with the certificates. If the certificate is added or expired, you want to notify tenant or something, you can choose certificate. So here, one thing to consider is here you can see the 2 document sections, document groups as an attachment. In automations, we cannot share the documents with the people. Like it will only notify them like document is uploaded or document is updated or document is deleted, but it won't share that document file with them. So that cannot be done with the automations. Just bear with you in mind, like that thing, like sharing the file through automations cannot be done. But you can notify them like here the document is added, you can have a check in the account, but it won't share the file in the automated emails. And now, so as we discussed, we want to remind the tenant about the rent due in 4 days. We will go and select the financial group here, which is relevant to the payment. So just click on financial here so that our first thing selecting the group is completed. Next, we have a couple of options to choose from the right method. So due date, rent payment due date. Due date is a timed action, right? So it is related to the time. Due date, it's a timed action. So that in this option, so it is not a created or updated or something like that, but it is the timed action you want to run every single month and you want to remind them in certain days. So just select timed option is the correct method for this one. So select timed. Most of the time it will be the timed method only. So you can select timed from here. And now it is asking for you to name the trigger. So what you can add any name to your trigger, like you can add notifying tenant about the rent due for rent due, which is in 4 days. In 4 days. So you can name anything like tenant about rent due in 4 days or something like that. Anything you can name here under name of the trigger section. Under conditions, this is very important. So what you want your trigger to do. So under conditions, what is you're talking about rent due date. So just search for the due date. So due date, just select due date. You have a couple of options to choose from. It is not unit or tenant or remitted or related to some particular property or something like that, but it is about the due date, right? It is about due date. Select due date from here. So whenever the due date is in 4 days, so in 4 days, so here at the top, you can see certain example values. So for in 4 days or in 5 days, you need to write it as plus 5 days. If it is already happened or already finished, it is ago or something like that, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, you need to put minus symbol before that. And if it is today or yesterday or tomorrow, you can just write today, yesterday or tomorrow over here in this box, or you can choose from here. So now I want to notify tenant about it to due in 4 days. So it will be due in 4 days. So plus 4 days is the correct example value from here to choose. So just go here, just type plus 4 and just type as days. That's it. So now our first condition is finished. Like due date is in 4 days. Our trigger to be, we want our automation to be triggered. And if there is any other condition you want to add, you can add that. Like I don't want this rent to be due to be sent to all the tenants. I just want to send it to the tenant who are current, like whose status is current, like who are actually living in the house. So I want to set tenancy status is current and who are actually in the house to be notified about the rent due. So those people are the who having the rent dues, right? So select tenancy status to current. And if you want to add some other conditions, you're free to add them and it will apply them if the transaction type or something like that, or if you want to add the to a particular property tenants or particular unit tenants, you can add that, or you can add it to a single tenant, or all other things you can choose from here. So in my case, I was just adding tenancy status to current. And if the transaction might be direct rent or rent charge or anything like that, any of them, it will be notified in 4 days. So just after adding conditions, just go on and click here, save your trigger. Just click on save trigger and it will take you to the action screen where you will write your action. So what you want this trigger to do, like whenever the rent is due in 4 days, what you want to do? I want to send an email to the tenant that rent is due in 4 days. So just action name notifying tenants, or you can add whatever you want again, and just go to the applier process again, and it will give you a couple of options to choose from. And under the event method, if you want to send email and notification, choose the first one. If If you want to just send that notification, choose this one. If you want to send text SMS or webhook, you can choose this one. Add task. If you want to add task, just if you click add task here, it will take you to the task screen here. Like it will show the task screen here. So this is something similar where what you had under your task in the dashboard from your Author account. So that is same here. So you can choose your task type template, or you can describe the task. You can assign it to the property manager who is relevant to that task or something. So you can add task within the action, or else you can add even work order within the automation. So you can add work order title or service, or you can choose the contractors from here and you can share them and you can save action. But my case, it is not relevant to work order or task. My case, it is relevant to send a message to the tenant. So I will just select send message so that they will receive email, and at the same time, they will be notified by an app that rent is due in 4 days. So I want to send it to the relevant tenants. So I will just select the tenants from here and can choose the subject as rent due in 4 days. And you can, as I said earlier, you can personalize this mail for their first names, and you can say like just to remind you that the rent is due in X amount of days, just rent due in 4 days or something like that. You can make your email body as personalized, as customized, and as much as you want. And you can just type in thanks and regards and your name here. You can just put your name, and you can use more variables if you want, like if you want to include the property name or address, or your name or property manager name, property owner name, or tenant's ID or tenancy end date or something like that. You can use whatever variables you want, but you can use the relevant variables here. So I will just go on and save this action now. So if you save this action, so remember, we have created rent due trigger, and emailing the tenants is the action. It is under the financial groups, or because it is a due or it is related to payment, it goes under financial groups. So now we can find that under the financial group over here in the automations. So if you just click on financials group here, you can see all the triggers I have created, but I've created one just now, which is notifying tenant about rent due in 4 days. So this is the trigger. And if you click plus icon, you can see the time symbol, which is denotes the action. So it is notifying the tenants and it is sending the message. And this flag denotes our created trigger here. You can add extra action to that. Add as many actions you want to the same trigger. You can use this one. You can test that. You can use the logs to see what happened. You can edit the trigger, like you can edit the trigger. That means you can edit the conditions. If you want to add there one more condition, like if you just click on edit, takes me to the same screen again. If I want to add the transaction type or something like that here, transaction types, and I just want to know notify the people who are paying only direct rent, not the rent charge, but I want the transaction type to be direct rent. So you can always go and edit that, or you can add one more condition or as many conditions as you want and just set the trigger. You can make the trigger as complicated as it is, like with multiple conditions and multiple actions to do. So you can use that on your benefit, like as you want. So now it is edited. And if you no longer require this particular action of notifying tenants, you can always delete this action. Or if you no longer require the complete trigger, you can delete the trigger as well. Since it is created by you, it is showing the delete symbol next to it. But if it is auto-populated triggers, it won't show the delete symbol next to the trigger. So yeah, this is how you can add the custom triggers and add custom actions to that particular triggers. And so just to recall you, or just to tell you again, so this is the automation screen. Just click on your logo at the top and click on automation. It takes you to the automation screen. There you can find the groups, which are automation groups here. So these groups, these names, you can find them in your dashboard as well, like on your screen as well. So if there are properties, there will be properties here, applicants, tenancies, they will be here as well, financials, work orders, tasks, documents, everything will be in the automations as well. So whatever you have in your system, everything can be automated. Like there are certain restrictions which cannot be automated. As I told you, cannot send a file copy through automation, document through an automation. So if you just click on plus symbols, you find the flag symbol. Next to that is called trigger. And if you just go and click that again, you can find time symbol. Next to that is an action. So you can always delete the actions you have created, triggers you have created, but you cannot delete the triggers which were automatically set by the author system. You cannot see delete symbol here. So these are triggers with the flag symbol, and these are actions. So you can make use of the triggers which are there and go on adding actions to the triggers available in the system. You can add as many actions. And if you want to create your own trigger, you can always use the custom trigger. Just go here, top right corner, click add custom trigger and choose the right group, like what you want to do that. Like if it is related to the rent to rent payments or something like that, the payments, the transactions, the something related to financial, choose the right group financial so that every conditions will be visible for you under the trigger screen. So if it is related to tenancy, choose the tenancy. If it is related to work order, choose the work order. So if it is related to certificate, you can choose the certificate. So let me show you one more example so that it will be more clear. So if you can add another custom trigger, just click on certificate. So if you want to add something in the certificate, and if you want to run this trigger when a certificate is created, or if it is updated or created, or timed action like certain times in 30 days, or if certificate is expiring in 30 days, or it is created in the created before 30 days or something like that. So if it is a timed action with the days or with a time limit or something, you can always use the timed. Most of the people use timed, like most of the times. Just select timed from here for now. So I just selected certificates as my group and timed as my method. So what conditions I can see here? So I can just see the conditions which are related to my certificate group. So the two conditions were the certificate type. So you can always select your specific certificate type, like council tax exemption or asbestos or any other. If it is UPC or fire alarm, gas safety, you can select that. I'll just select fire alarm for now. So fire alarm, certificate type is fire alarm, and what is the expiring date? So when you select expiring date, and if it is expiring in 30 days or in 20 days or in 5 days, I want to send an email to the property manager, or I want to send an add a work order and assign it to a contractor for the same thing. So you can do that. So expiring date, for example, if it is in 30 days. So as we discussed earlier, if it is in 30 days, if you can see the example here, you can always add plus with the number of days if it is in 30 days. If it is ago or if it happened before, you should just include minus sign before the number. So for now, I just want to notify something like if it is expiring in 30 days. So I will just select plus symbol plus 30 days. Or you can select last 30 days, or you can select specific last month or specific dates or something like that. It is up to you. You can select anything you want. So I will name my trigger as certificate expiring. To make it more specific, you can name it as fire alarm certificate expiring. Yeah, and go on, save the trigger now. So your certificate, which is fire alarm certificate, is expiring in 30 days. What you want to do now, like under the action section, you want to notify the property manager, like, or email them or message them, or add a task to a property manager to do certain checklist where before it expires or something like that. You can use whatever you want. So in this case, like I just want to add work order or something like that. Add work order and allocate it to a right person. So I will just name my action as add work order. And again, now go to the apply process. So here you can see the event methods. As we said earlier, send message, notification, SMS, webhook, add task, or add button. Now I want to add a work order and assign it to a subcontractor. I'm notifying him or saying him that certificate is expiring in 30 days and you have got some work to do. So just click add work order from here and give your work order title of fire alarm expiring or something like that. Fire alarm certificate expiring, and select the service from here. It is related to fire alarm. You should contact the fire alarm engineers. So service will be fire alarm engineers. So description. So it is expiring. You need to renew it or just go and check in there like what is happening. Renew that or something like that. Connect whatever you want in the description for the contractor to see what it is about. And here you can mention like due date or something, but it is just in 30 days it is expiring. It is anyway notify him and it's an email, right? So we just don't want to use this one for now. If you want to allocate a budget, you can allocate them time or price per hour. You can do all things whatever you want. Here under the contractors, you can actually select whom you want this work order to be allocated. So here I want it allocated to author. So I will just select author from my contractors so that the author company, contractor company, or the contractor person will be assigned to this particular work order. So this screen, the work order, this whole thing is same as what you see in your work order screen. When you are adding work orders, this will show, this will be the same thing. And so in MedTech contractors, if you want quote is required, you can tick this one, not tick off. Or if you want to share documents, hide tenant details, share unit and property, share documents and images with owner, you can do that and you can save action. Here, if you observe it clearly, there is one difference between this screen here is under the automation and what you see in your work orders when you are adding work order. So the difference is here it is not giving you option to upload any documents or any files or images. But when you are adding work order, it gives you an option to upload documents, images, or files. So that is what, like I told you earlier, automations cannot send the document or file or images to a specific person or something like that. So that's why it won't show you the documents to upload or add it here. But if you tick them here and go on save action, this will appear in your work order and you can go on there and add your documents or images or something, and they will be shared with the contractors or the owner as you have ticked them here. And if you tick code is required, it will ask the code for them. So if it is clear, just go on save action. So now that is saved under certificates, right? We have selected certificate groups, right? So just go to certificates now. And I've added file alarm thing, right? This is a file alarm certificate expired. So this is the trigger I've added. And if you just click plus to that, you can see the action. That is, I've added the work order. You can edit this, you can delete this, as I told you earlier, and you can actually find that work order in your work orders. If you go to your work orders screen and just here and just click work orders below that, and you can see the work order which we have just created as an automation, and you can add the documents or files over there and it will be shared. And once it's off, we will be off. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let me check this one. So I have set this like expiring date in 30 days and saved this, right? So that's why if you go to work orders and if it is expiring in 30 days, it will pop up here as a work order. And then you can add the documents or something like that and share it with the relevant people. So whenever the date is due or date is in 30 days, it will add as a work order over here. Since I have nothing in 30 days as expiring in my particular account, it is not showing here. But if we have something, it will show it here in 30 days. So that is how it works. So if I go back to the automation screen, so this is how you can add as many as custom triggers and actions to your work order, to your automations, and you can name them as you want, and you can apply the process, and you can choose event methods as messages or SMS or adding a task or work order as you want. And if I go back to my presentation slide, so I have shown you how you can make use of the pre-populated automations. So just adding action to the already having triggers, or there are some actions which were already performed on your behalf. Like whenever a certificate is added, it will send you a notification via email, like saying that certain certification is added. So whenever a tenancy is expiring, it will share you an email like tenancy is expiring in a couple of days or something like that. So those are the actions which were automatically set up for you by author. So a couple of actions which you receive as an automated emails, but you haven't added, those were set up by author on your behalf, which we feel like they are necessary for you to be notified. And next, we have seen how to add some custom triggers like sending emails to new tenants we have seen, and notifying tenants about the overdue payments we have seen, and we have seen the certificate expiring thing for as a custom trigger. So I've shown you the custom automations demo as well, like how to add one. And this is about the automations, and you can play with the automations. You can choose as any group as you want, like financials or certificates or documents, and you can add any trigger or action, and you can just test them for a while, and you can delete them again. You can play with them. As you play with them, as you use them as much, then it will be then you can use them in like perfect in future. So it will be very easy to use, like once you get used to that. And if you need any help in any time for any particular automation you want to create, just ask us or email me, or just so in the live chat, you can use our live chat and you can just post your question over there, and our colleagues will get back to you in 10 minutes. So next we will move on to the scheduler. So scheduler is something like where you want to set up a scheduled actions. So scheduled actions. So you want this action to be run automatically, like every week or every month or something like that, as per your schedule. As per you set your schedule, you want that action to be performed. So that is when you can use this our scheduler option in Author to perform your particular scheduled actions. So the same thing here. So what in I will show you an example like where you can find scheduler, and wherever you can add that. So just let me go back to my dashboard and just go back to my dashboard. And here, this is your screen which you see when you open your account. And here towards your left side, and if you see there's a calendar option. If you just click on the drop down, here you can find the scheduler option. So just click on scheduler here. It will take you to the scheduler screen. So this is the scheduler screen. These are the schedules which have been added by me for my account. If you want to add a schedule, there is an option for you at the top right corner, add scheduler. You can just go on there and click on add scheduler. So it will take you to the add scheduler screen. Here, where you want to add the scheduler. If you want to add the scheduler to a particular property, particular unit, or a particular tenancy, you can always do that. So if I just select any property like Mailway Road is a property, I want this schedule to be run for that particular property. I will select that property, and my schedule name is like bins to be removed on Thursday at 6 a.m. So this is my scheduler name. So bins has to be removed on Thursday at 6 a.m. for collection. So I just want to choose the date. So since it is to be removed on Thursday at 6 a.m. So I want it to be, they want to be reminded on Wednesday, like one day before that, so that they will be reminded like you, next day you will be doing this action of like removing the pins. So just click on the date icon here. Here you can find the month and dates, and I want them to notify on Wednesday. So today is Wednesday, you can choose today, or if you want this to be run from next Wednesday, you can choose 8th or 15th as you want. Since you have selected Wednesday, you can choose the all Wednesday dates. Select Wednesday 1, and I want them to be notified at the evening 5 p.m. or something like that. I can just type 5 here, or I can just select time here and just select from here as a 5:40 or 6:40 or something like that. I'll just look 5:40 and set here so that it will be reminded at evening 5:40 on the Wednesday that bills to be removed on Thursday at 6 a.m. So I want this to run weekly or 2 weekly or monthly, quarterly. It is up to you. So I want this to be run weekly. So I will select weekly from here. And I want this to run Wednesday, as I choose date as Wednesday here. This should be run on Wednesday. And if I want to choose any end date, I can choose the end date, but I don't want to choose any end date. I have no end date. Like it should run on every week continuously until I stop that. So I will just go on and click continue here. So if here you want this to run on monthly, you can select monthly, 2 weekly, and select the particular date where you set this date on. So in my case, it is weekly, no end date. Just go on, click continue. So this is you have added your schedule here, but your next screen will allow you to add the action. So just click on continue. It will take you to the add action screen. So let me do it again for you. Mailway Road. So since there is already a schedule set up for that on this particular properties, the same name, it is not allowing me to do that. So I want to set this up on Saturday or something like that. And I want it to be notified on Friday. So I will select Friday, and I will select it as on morning 11:43 or something like that. On Friday, it will automatically select the day for you if you select the date. And if I just click on continue, it will now take me to the action screen. So once you add the schedule, it will take you to the action screen. I want to notify tenants. So my action name is notifying tenants. I want them to send a message, or if you want to add task for them, like with a checklist, like you can add that. If you want to add a photo, do that. Text message, you can send that. Send the email notification. So I'll select send message from here. And whom I want to send all the tenants, related tenants, all property managers, realtor managers, property owner. No. I want to send to all active tenants in that particular property. So I will select the right recipient as active tenants in property. So active tenants in property, and subject as pin removal or something like that. You can choose any name you want. You can write the email, hi, first name of them, like so and so you need to remove your bin tomorrow, so that they can, HMRC can pick your bins up. You need to remove bin before tomorrow morning 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or something like that.
And you can mention that.
Yeah. I've just seen in the chat like where someone is asking where you can add more variables. So as I told, you can just right click here. If you right click, there are variables like first name, last name, to the address, or if you want to add anything, like if you just right click, it will pop up with all the variables available. If you want to include property manager name, you can include property owner name, you can include, if you want to add what is the property type, you can include that, like all the related managers, you can include that as well. So or you can select from all the available variables here, like IT property owner as well. You can select property owner. So whatever you want, you can select. So just right click on the body, then you can select the variables, how many variables you want. And if you want to add a variable under the subject screen, the subject tab, you can do that. Just right click on the subject here. It will show the same variables as shown in the email body. So you can add them as many as you want here as well under the subject. If you want the subject to be received with a person name or something, you can do that with the variables. And so you can use variables like, as I told, just right click and you can find all the variables. You can use as many as you want in the subject screen or in the email body, and you can use them. Just write the email body and save action. So if you notify, this is the screen similar to the automation screen which we have seen under next to the trigger adding action. So these are the same methods which we have seen in the automation. So it is same thing in the scheduler as well, but it will run as per your schedule. So just go on and save action. So your bins removed on Saturday 5 a.m. is the schedule which is now saved, and it is live, and it will run on every Friday. It will send them an email and at the same time notify via app. So now, since we are in the scheduler screen now, you can see a couple of filters option here. So there are a couple of filter option here, if you can see. So if you see here, it shows searching 54 scheduled jobs. So that means they are active 54 jobs. If I just click show inactive from here, it changed to 129 here. So that means it is showing me all the inactive schedules as well. So you can make use of this filter to find active or inactive schedules. So now I will put it as active so that I only see the active schedules. So if you want to search something for related to a property level or unit level or tenancy level schedules, you can filter based on property so that it will show you the schedules related at a property level. For 25 schedules are there. And just now we have added to a property schedule to remove, like being removed started at 5 a.m. So if you take property, it will show as a property here. If you want to find the schedules which they're at the unit level, just click on unit button here. There were 24 schedules at the unit. So the which were added at the unit level will display here with the unit name and the dates and the frequency there and the action name and everything and the status of them. And you can choose similarly the tenancy level. And next, if you can go to type. So if you add it as a message, just now we add it as a message, it will show all the message schedules here. If you click task, it shows all the task schedules here, or work order schedules. If you click work order, it will show work order schedules here. If I just go and click message for now, just to see what we have just added. So we have added as a message Saturday at 5 a.m. So this shows as a message filter. Just untick that. Yeah. Next, if you go to property, here you can search for a particular property. If it is a mail road property, just click on that. You will see the schedules which I have done for mail road property just now. So it will display all the schedules which were running for the mailway road property. So if you can select multiple properties, you can select them as well here. If you want to select a particular unit, you can search for particular unit using this filter as unit. If you want to select particular tenancy and filter, you can select that. If you want to filter based on start date, you can do that. If you want to filter based on next date or end date also, you can do that. Yeah, just okay. Yeah, start date is today. You can filter that based on today. So these were start date having on today. So if it is mentioned here Wednesday, today is Wednesday and it is starting from today, 1st December. So it will show you all the today's start date schedules. Similarly, if you want to search for next date, like next date of when the schedule is running, like if the next date is today, it will show the same both actions as shown above. So you can specify the date range as well. If it is you want to run on end date is today or specific date or date range, you can filter based on that. So you can make use of filters to personalize as per your own convenience, to search based on property level or to search on the type as a task or a message. You can do all of those by using the filters feature. And here if I just clear all my filters and go back to the normal screen where I'm here, you can see active. This is just we have created. And if I just click on I symbol over here, it will take me to the screen where I can see the activity. So I have created property mail route and the scheduler is added and at what date, at what time, and what is the scheduler and how when it will be running and what action it will do, it will notify tenants. So all the activity is visible here, which was done. If someone else has done in your team, you can see the activity here, what they have done, at what time and what date they have done. If you want to go on edit schedule, just click edit schedule here and it will take you to the same screen there and you can edit the schedule. You can change the name, you can make it inactive, just click off here. You can change the time or date and you can change the days and you can change add the end date or something like that. And if you just go on click records created, if there are any records created, it will show here. Like for the schedule, if there were anything created for the schedule, it will show here. So just for now, close this screen. And next here, next to the schedule, you can see a drop down. If you click that, you can see the same edit schedule. You can manage scheduler actions, change relationship, make inactive activity. Activity, we have seen. Edit schedule, we have seen in the icon. Both of them were same. Change relationship. If you have mistakenly added the schedule to one property, and if you want to change that to other property, you can use change relationship. And you can select the property from here, like a mail road or something like that. So if you want to add from mail road to some other tenancy, you can select that. So you can always change the relationship. That means if you have mistakenly added to a particular unit, but you want to change the unit to different one, you can use this change relationship. You can use for changing it for different property or something like that as well. And here inactive, it will make it inactive. That means the scheduler will no longer run. If you just click make inactive, it will be inactive. And if you come again here, it will allow you to make active again for the same schedule. And here, you can see something like manage scheduler action. If you click here, it will take you to the screen to see what actions you have. You can edit the action, you can delete the action. So just click wrong button for now and just put it up on again. If you want to add some more actions to this schedule, you can always add multiple actions. So if you just click drop down and if you go to here, add action, it will allow you to add the action. So here, if I want to notify the property manager similar to tenants and select all the related managers and subject as something like that and test the body and save action. So for my one schedule, which I've created, I have added 2 actions. So if you just click the drop down again and if you see the manage scheduler actions, it will show you now the 2 actions. So these were the 2 actions. So you can add as many actions you want by using add action button there. So you can delete them as well. Just click delete and click OK. So that action will be deleted. You can edit them with this one. So this is how you can add multiple actions and how to make use of the scheduler screen, how to make use of all the available options, how to make use of filters. So how to add a schedule. So if you want to add a task to schedule, you can choose the event method as add task and you can choose that from there. If you want to add work order, assign contractor to particular scheduler, you can do that as well. So this is how the scheduler works. So as you've observed in automation and scheduler, both of them, like here I've shown you where you can find the scheduler. So I will just show you again, like here calendar, here you can find scheduler. So there are a couple of other options where you can quickly find scheduler as well. Just click on quick add and you can see scheduler option here. So, and also if you want to add a scheduler for at a property page, you can do that as well. If you want to select particular property, select the property by going to properties page and more. And here you can add the scheduler as well. Similarly, at the unit level, similarly at the tenancy level, if you go to particular property, particular unit or particular tenancy and click the more button, it will show add scheduler as an option there. You can add the scheduler within the property. If you want to add a schedule under tasks, you can just go to task page and click more button again here. It will allow you to create a scheduler under your task page. Similarly, if you want to add a scheduler at the work orders, just go to work orders and just similarly click on more button here. It will allow you to create a scheduler over there. So there are multiple places where you can create scheduler under certain levels, or else you can create it under here at the common level and filter based on the particular level like property or unit or work order or task. You can add them there or else add here and filter based on the types. So that is how you can make use of schedulers in multiple ways. You can find them in multiple places. You can add multiple actions to a schedule. You can add as many schedules, as many actions as you want. Same to the automations. Again, go to click here on the logo, and here you can find automation and scheduler. Click below calendar, you can find the scheduler. So logo, automation, and calendar below scheduler. So this is the places like where you can find all of them. So into the back to the automation screen again. So as I said, remember that these are the automation keys, and you have the trigger with the flag symbol, and below that you have action with the time symbol. You can add custom triggers. You can add first adding the custom triggers. It will take you to choose a group from here, and you can choose a particular group. And after choosing the group, it will ask you to add the trigger like this one. And after that, it will ask you to add an action like this one. Similarly, in the scheduler, go to scheduler, add scheduler. So it is similar to like something like a trigger, like you can set the property, scheduler name, time, and everything. You click on continue, it will take you to the action screen. There you can add the action. So if it is scheduler action or automation action, any action screen has an event method and couple of options like send a message, send SMS, add task, or add work order to choose from. So both of them are same under as the action screen. It is same in the scheduler and it is same in the automation. So, and one thing to remember, as I told you earlier, you cannot send the file or the document to automations. That cannot be shared, but you can notify them that this file is uploaded there or this file is updated or created there. And I can see many questions over the chat, and my colleague Nicoletta is helping me and helped me a lot in clearing all the chats. Thank you so much, Nicoletta. And thank you. And do we receive a copy of this webinar under the Q&A Fiona Collins?
Send it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I can share the copy of the webinar. Just email me, like I will show you my email again. Just email me and I can share you the copy of the webinar. Yes, send me an email. Side. Sorry. So you can also find all our webinars in the YouTube channel. As soon as we finish webinars, we will upload it in the YouTube so that you can find whole recording in the YouTube channel. Does email and text message cost? Through automations, emails and text message. So if you're asking that to automations,
Next cost. Email now.
so the emails won't cost you anything, but the text cost you. So if you want to see the prices for the text message, you can go to the author store and you can find that there. And you can answer the other questions. Once you have produced the schedule, there you can find them to edit them. So edit them, Marina, and what do tags mean? So tags, okay, let me show you again. So you can edit the schedules, like if you go to the scheduler, any schedule, and if you just click drop down here, you can find edit schedule option here. You can edit the schedule, or else if you click on eye icon and go to the second thing here, you can find edit option. So sorry, you can find edit option here as well. And better to do that from the drop down, you can select here edit schedule, and it will allow you to change the scheduler name or time or the days, everything. So and what do tags mean? So tags, if you add some tags to that, like for particular schedule or something, like if you add marketing tag to that schedule, or if you add a bin tag to that schedule, uh, the minor text things which you add as a tag, you can filter them based on the tag when you are filtering using the filter options. So that is how it works for the tags. Yeah, to find the videos and the YouTube channel, as I said you earlier, you can just click on your logo and just go bottom and click on help and support with author. And you can just here find author video tutorials. So this is the YouTube channel and YouTube link. Here you can find all the webinars and you can search based on that and all other author videos as well under the playlist or videos section. Thank you. And I hope we answered all of your questions on the Q&A and in the chat as well. And so the questions under the chat will be answered for you now, if there are any remaining. So thank you for attending the webinar and thank you for your time today. I hope you have understood about automations and scheduler. And if you have any questions or any doubts or anything to ask, you can always ask on the live chat to